Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Hollywood Makers. I'm Mona, and today we're diving into the world of acting with actor Keanush Tafreshi, and we'll be discussing his journey, experiences in the entertainment industry, challenges, and advice for aspiring actors looking to make their mark in Hollywood. So thank you so much for being here today, and let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so for anyone who may not know your story, how did you first get into acting, and when did you realize you wanted to pursue it professionally?
Yeah, I grew up doing theater in middle school and high school. So that was sort of my introduction into acting. And for me, it was always something I was excited about and passionate about, but I didn't really necessarily think I was going to pursue it professionally until about my senior year of high school. I did a short film in Vegas and absolutely loved it. And that got me really excited to step forward in the direction of pursuing film and TV as a career.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. How did this short film come about?
It was by this director, Alex Familian, who is from Vegas. He went to the school I went to, and he was sending just a casting call out to a bunch of schools in Vegas for an audition for the short film. And it got to me, and I read for one of the roles, and he liked what I brought and saw that I was could be a part of his vision for his film, and he just brought me on, and that sort of got the ball rolling for me.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. What an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You studied screen acting, I believe, at Chapman University. How did that experience prepare you for actually working in Hollywood?
Yeah, it was a great, opportunity to learn about the craft and try different approaches to the work. We got to study Meisner, we got to study Stanislavski, and just sort of all the, conservatory style training that you do there. And it was really just a place for me to try things and build out my relationships with actors and young filmmakers and collaborate. So I'm really grateful for my time there, and it definitely set the foundations for my work in LA. In Hollywood.
That's awesome. And I know Chapman is like a very big art school, and I believe you majored in acting, or?
That's right. Yeah. Screen acting.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's sort of
that's
like a
awesome.
film program and a theater program in one. So we got to take the theater classes, the acting classes, but also directing, editing, screenwriting. We got to have the full sort of film package experience.
Yeah, that's such a good experience. I think that going to college and studying in acting, it can really help build your career in so many ways because you're not only just learning about it, but you're networking and you're just going through all these experiences and, it
Mhm.
really prepares you.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the training, I just got a lot of value from being there and, having my friends and the experiences in Orange County. I had a great time. I'd like surf before class and, it was just a full encompassing, just nice baseline experience for me.
That's amazing. Wow, yeah, surfing before class. See, I don't get that because I go to school in New York, so there's no surfing for me, but
Yeah, I knew I needed to be in California. For me, that was just my calling was here.
Yeah. You've worked across so many different genres from comedy and horror to action, drama. Do you approach each type of role differently?
Yeah, of course. I think like my process starting out is the same, but just making sure I understand the world and the story, and I'm as familiar with the text as I can be. But yeah, when you're working with different genres, you have to. I find myself trying to lean into what works in those genres. So like for comedy, for example, I did this Disney Channel show, and I guess the style of acting is a lot different than The Agency, which is a lot grittier and more single cam dramatic. So in a Disney show, it's very broad, it's very theatrical at times, and a show like this, the choices are a little bit more nuanced. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just depends on what I'm working on.
Do you have like a specific routine for like preparation? Because you were saying like you kind of go about things the same at first and then kind of like deviate.
Yeah, it for me, I always start with just being extremely familiar with the script. So I read it as many times as I can, go through the scenes as many times as I can with sort of a neutral point of view on it before I even start to like incorporate my character's thoughts and all that, just so I understand the scene and what the purpose of the scene is in the script. And then once I just have that familiarity with it, getting it up on its feet and working it with my co-stars, that's when the magic happens. That's when the fun really begins, because when you have someone you're working with, new things come in, new inspiration arises. It's collaborative. So that's kind of like the structure. And then obviously asking all the questions and doing the research, that's always really fun. That really brings in a lot of stuff creatively for me. Like for The Agency, I had a lot of fun really just researching types of guys that would be like this character, in this world of high class, statusy Iranian kids, So that was a really fun exploration to have. The research is the most fulfilling part before you even get it up on its feet.
I bet. I feel like when you're in that research mode, you're trying out different things, just kind of seeing what works. And that just seems like you have like a very good routine, very good process for
Mhm.
developing your character. That's very awesome. It's very cool. You've appeared in shows like Young Sheldon, SWAT, and The Sex Lives of College Girls. Was there a particular role or experience that felt like a turning point in your career?
I feel like the agency has been the turning point so far. The young Sheldon SWAT. I had so much fun working those, but I only had one episode to make an impression, and you don't really have many opportunities to leave a lasting impression. But I think with this series, being in most of the episodes, I had time to really work on a character and have an arc and show a transformation from beginning to end. So I'm grateful for that. I think this will hopefully open some more doors, and I'll be able to hopefully work on some really exciting projects moving forward.
Yeah, and by the way, you were great. I saw it with my parents. You did an awesome job.
Thank you. That means
Really
a lot.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Someone in the family.
I'm
Yeah,
trying,
it's
it means a
great.
lot.
And then more recently, you joined the agency as Hassan Zamani. And what was your reaction when you found out that you got the role?
I was so excited. I watched the first season, and I was a really big fan. Loved the genre and the world and the characters. And when I got the audition for this role and I saw the character and what they were looking for, I was so inspired and excited to get into it. So finding out I got the role was really fulfilling, especially after the years of work, to get a break like that it's the news we live for, as actors, to get to work on such an exciting series with such amazing talent and writers and directors, and to travel too for it. It was a dream come true. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I was gonna say you joined like such an established team with such incredible actors and actresses. I mean, how was that?
Yeah, it was the stakes were definitely high. I felt my first day I was pretty nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but once you get into the work, it's what we do every day as actors, just on a bigger scale. Just more money, more production value. The team welcomed me in with open arms, and they were very excited to have me, and that really gave me the confidence and the joy to really step up and have fun and just be there and do my job.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. And I was gonna say Hassan is a pretty complex and emotionally intense character. How did you prepare yourself to step in that role?
Yeah. I mean, outside of the research, the writing itself had a lot to give. So thankfully, I had to work hard, but at the same time, when you have such great writing, it's a gift for an actor to take on and just allow that to influence you and be affected by the words and my scene partner. But the preparation was, I knew I had to have a transformation. The character needed to have a transformation from a starting point when we meet him, like he's very aggressive, hot-headed, some would even say villainous. But by the end, I wanted people to really love this guy. I wanted people to have an understanding of who he was and his circumstances, and maybe not be so quick to judge who he is and how he acts out. But yeah, the emotional prep was just sort of staying open and vulnerable and honest, and trying to fit my own perspective within his. Like, how are we somewhere? Where did we relate? So
And those are the kinds of characters that I think are the most fun to play because you kind of have this like leg room to just make the audience and make people love you because when you're playing I guess like an aggressive character like you were saying, it's so easy to like judge him and just kind of, right off the bat, I feel
mhm,
like I've seen a lot of people also when they play these kinds of characters, people often say negative things towards actors who play these kinds of characters, but I feel like it's really good that you were trying to, make the people love you and make the audience love you and really understand the character before judging him.
yeah. I think like I wanted him to be real, living, experiencing person. I didn't want to play like a caricature, stereotype. I wanted him to have honesty and vulnerability.
Hmm. Yeah. And you did a great job of that. As a Persian American actor, what does it mean to bring more layers to a Persian character and give that kind of representation to the screen?
Yeah, it was. I just, like I said, I just think authenticity was very important for me in this. So I remember getting the script and realizing how much Farsi I had to speak. I grew up speaking Farsi, so it's not in my everyday conversations, but obviously, when I see family, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You gotta speak. So I made it really important for me to make sure that my Farsi was dialed in and that, I was hitting the accent as closely as I could. So yeah, we don't really get to see a lot of these roles on, on the big screen. So for me to have the opportunity to play a Persian role and really showcase that in this show was an honor. And I just really wanted it to be authentic.
Yeah. Were you fluent in Farsi before playing the part, or did you definitely have to like really teach yourself some more? Because I'm
Yeah, I
not.
would say, I mean, I was fluent enough, but
Okay.
I just made sure to speak with my family as much as I could. I told them when I got the role, I was like, look, from now on, let's just speak Farsi. Let's make sure that every time we're speaking, I'm just practicing my Farsi, because there's a certain thing with the language. Like when you're speaking in a different language, you have new thoughts and new feelings even attached to certain words that you wouldn't have in English, for example. So having that exploration through language in itself was such a rewarding experience for the character, influencing the character and his point of view.
See, that's very good prep. I think having your parents practice with you, that's really, really good. See, I'm not fluent at all. So, I can understand fully, but I'm not like fluent. So I
Yeah,
struggle with speaking. So I would need like all the help that I could get.
yeah, it's cool to tap into it. It was so
Yeah.
cool to just be in that and have that a regular thing. I remember when I was on set working on this, like my Farsi felt amazing. I felt very dialed in, and the minute I stopped, I could feel my Farsi changing. So you got to keep it up with language. You use it or lose it. So
I definitely agree with that. Also, rejection is such a big part of acting. How have you learned to deal with uncertainty and rejection that comes within the industry, kind of switching over topics a little bit?
yeah, I mean, it's inevitable in this industry, but that's in everything in life, I think too. I think you just have to have faith in what you're doing and have the confidence in what you're putting out and trust that whatever's meant for you won't miss you. You have to there's so many factors at play when it comes to your employment as an actor. What you do have control over is showing up every day for your craft, showing up every day for your career. I remember I made it a point to myself that I was going to do something every single day for my career, whether it was, watch a movie that was inspiring, watch good acting, watch bad acting, watch my friends do their work, help them with their work, help them with auditions. I just made it a point to do something every single day for my career, and once it becomes regular and in your everyday life, then I just think it's a matter of time until you have an opportunity, you'll get your chance, but when that chance is there, you want to be very prepared for that opportunity when it comes. So
No,
rejection is just part of it. It shouldn't deter you from it. I just think that you have to stay authentic in who you are and what you're doing. And if you're just focusing on being the best you can at what you do, then your time will come.
yeah, no, and consistency definitely manifests into reality. So taking like a little bit of action every single day for sure, makes a huge difference versus
Hmm.
if you were to not do anything at all. But
Totally.
yeah, has there been like any part that you've really wanted that you unfortunately did not get?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's been certain things that have happened that have fallen through, and you get devastated from those losses in your mind. But as long as you're putting out good work, it's not. It rarely comes down to your acting ability. There's other factors that come into your employment and booking a job. So yeah, if you don't take it personally and you just keep putting out good work and make fans along the way with casting directors and associates and people that watch your work, that's the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. What's something about being a working actor that people outside of the industry might not realize?
Well, that's a good question. Outside of the industry, I think there's this idea. I mean, early on, I thought that I would just get discovered, you know? And I think nowadays you have to self perpetuate work. You have to create your own stuff. You have to generate opportunity for yourself instead of waiting for opportunity to come to you. So, early on in my career, I'm grateful that I had the time that I had at Chapman to work with people that were in a similar boat as I was, people that wanted to create work, that wanted to collaborate, that wanted to come together and make something. And then by the end of my time there, I had some work and a package that I was ready to get out. So yeah, I think you're always waiting for the next job until it comes. And while you're waiting, you have to find something that keeps you moving forward. Whether that's writing, whether that's directing, whether that's going and finding inspiration outside of the industry, going and helping people, servicing people, finding meaningful work outside of the career.
Yeah, that's very good advice, especially for somebody who would want to go into acting and doesn't know how to, step into it or begin, and they're just kind of struggling with that, beginning process. So, as someone who's successful and has been in the industry for a while, it's definitely very good advice. What has been the most challenging moment in your career so far, and what have you learned from it?
The most challenging moment is, there's just been so many times where I've felt challenged with just, where I find a place in the industry, how I feel about my work. It's a constant challenge. It's always challenging. There hasn't been like a pivotal moment where I wanted to throw it in the bin, but it's just a constant challenge to show up some days, but it's just part of the journey. It's part of being an artist. It's part of being an actor, and that comes with the territory. As long as you just accept it and recognize that, some days you're going to feel super confident, super great about what you're doing. And other days you might struggle to, even get something up on its feet. It's just part of the nature of the work.
Yeah, absolutely. No. And I feel like that's just like life, and that just goes for all jobs. I sometimes, feel that way, with my work and what I'm doing. So, it's a universal experience. Just some days you just really don't feel like you're doing your best work, or you don't really feel you're giving like 100% or doing as good as you should. It just happens. It's just key detail in everyone's lives, I guess.
Yeah, it's natural. It's to feel the ups and downs and the swings. And if you're creating things, it is what it is. It happens.
Yeah, no, it's very true. It's very true. A Hollywood makers question that we ask everyone: how are you pursuing success while also protecting your well-being and staying grounded through the pressure of the entertainment industry?
It's great. I am just grateful for my community of my friends, my family. They keep me grounded. Also, just getting back to the work. Like, I don't expect anything from this opportunity that I had. I had such an amazing time doing it, and I'm really proud of the work. But at the same time, I'm still auditioning. I'm showing up the way I have been for my work, showing up for my friends with their auditions, in class too, just constantly focusing on my craft and just being prepared and having it be a part of my lifestyle, not just when the opportunity comes, then I'll act. You know what I mean? So yeah, just staying in my routine and staying humble and staying with my family and friends. That keeps me grounded.
Yeah, sounds like you're a very present person. You don't expect anything from the opportunities and experiences that you've had in the past. Are you still taking acting classes?
Yeah, I still am in and out of class monthly. Yeah. And again, it's just like it's a way for me to work when I'm not just waiting for an audition to come in or when I'm on set. It's a way for me to observe other actors, and I gain a lot of insight, and also just the community, like making friends in your acting studios or on set. You're building out your relationships and your friendships.
Yeah, 100%. You can never, you never should stop learning. There's always things that you can learn and grow from. So that's
Yeah.
really good that, you're grounded enough and you realize that, and, you're still eager to learn and get these new experiences. Yeah. And then a last question: what's next for you that you're excited about, if you were allowed to share?
Mhm. I don't have anything in the books at the moment, but I am excited to invite whatever is next.
That's awesome. Yeah. Keeping it open-minded, whatever is meant to happen will happen, and definitely great things are going to be there in the future.
That's right.
100%. Well, Keanush, thank you so much for joining me today and for giving us an honest look into what it's really like to be an actor in the entertainment industry. And thank you to everyone listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the Hollywood Makers for more conversations with creatives, industry professionals, and storytellers shaping the future of the entertainment industry. I'm Mona, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks, Mona.
Thank you. Bye, Keanush.
See ya.
See you.